did hit record. Welcome to a muzzled chat. Do we even want to do a little jingle? Why not? Well, my buddy Jesus just came over again. Listeners, welcome. Jesus. I freaking love this man.
What's up?
He came over bearing gifts. I'm like, bro, you don't need to be doing that. But he's such a stud. And I'm like, well, dude, we don't have to record anything. I don't want to strain our relation and our freaking hangout time and this and that. But yeah, we don't have to record every time you're over here. But dude,
Why not take the opportunity, right?
I know. Well, just even your natural nature of who you are is like so much what I want to capture on this freaking platform and what we could do for each other. All our conversations up to this point has been extremely awesome because it's been like, what you're showing up for me, man. Comes bearing gifts and then starts talking about a Joe Rogan episode he recently listened to where, what was it? A doctor was on?
I don't think he's a doctor, but he works in a type of medicine. So again,
so
you
it
have to watch
wasn't
the video.
okay.
So we get the correct information.
Yes.
And then we'll go back on it to go
Right.
and actually give.
So
again.
it wasn't the individual that struggled with Lyme. They were talking about someone that struggled with Lyme.
He was explaining that this one person had Lyme. She went through a certain protocol that I think he went and gave her, and then that basically got rid of the Lyme. So a lot of the information he gave was very interesting. It was talking about how folic acid is not good for you.
Yeah.
And other realms as well, but away from the pharmaceutical medicine, which, I mean, that's just a money scheme in my opinion.
Right. What do you think about the mic being over there? Do you think that's a little better, or
You want to?
it doesn't really matter?
No, we'll try it out over here, and then we'll try it over there again and see how it works out.
Okay. I mean, the whole thought process was we could have this clear for drinks, gifts, things to this nature where, yeah, it's not so busy, but also if we're going to have third guest, well, two guests.
You'll have to have another mic here.
Yeah. There's a boomstick behind you there, leaned up against the
Yeah.
flag. So yeah, we're already prepped for that. And with that arm here, you got to get creative to not hinder their view. But the whole reason I stuck away from it being there, which you're wearing a black shirt, so it's not necessarily helping because that arm is now blending with your shirt, you see.
So what if the camera and phone were over here?
You know,
Facing this way.
I've moved it around on a few different angles in here, and this seemed to be the best I could come up with. We have a very limited space. This is a pretty small, tiny little camper, but and it was more busy. Like this is cleaner walls to potentially hang merch and flags and stuff along those lines.
Right.
So,
anyways, So what's up,
bro? Well, guys, check this out. So he officially had this wrapped and everything, but you said your lady.
Yeah.
And I ruined it. I ripped this off
like a little kid. He just tore it.
Just a little
apart.
kid. Well, he told me to, all right, that I could. But look what was in there. A little gift for Unmuzzled Chat, on air light. That would be pretty cool. Desktop or wall mount light. Yeah, bro. Thank you.
No, for sure, bro.
And then he gifted a couple of these oh my god. A couple buttons here. This one's a timeout.
See, that doesn't sound bad.
No. That's a BS button. I gotta drink some water. I got something in my throat. And then a timeout button. And it has all these different timeouts. Excuse me.
It'd be perfect for your guest. Like, there's something that you don't agree with, and that's where, like,
Right? Yeah, something. We'll try to integrate it. You guys let us know what you think. If you like the BS button, timeout button. I mean, there's a level to this platform. We try our best not to be all crazy vulgar and things like that. But
Sometimes your aggression gets a little bit a hold of you, so you gotta vent it out some way. If it's not coming out of you,
right.
you got to button press.
Well, with the shenanigans going on in this world today, I think a BS button and timeout button. I mean, maybe we're just gonna start accumulating all sorts of
Yeah,
buttons.
but I mean, I think BS or I think shit is not as vulgar as majority of the other words that are out there.
Yeah, true that.
I mean, dogs take shits, we take shits.
True. Yeah, true. Oh my gosh. I feel like maybe I need to get a bigger table in here or something. We'll see.
So,
But
wait, did you go to the gym today or no?
yeah, I did strain something in my back. But it is interesting. Like, I feel the need to just be kind of transparent with our listeners that I don't know if it's visually and audibly like noticeable. I'm sure to an extent maybe it is, but then again we're so new here, maybe they haven't seen this wave that I feel. But we've kind of backed off some of this line protocol thinking, oh shoot, because of the levels of nausea I was dealing with and with how positive of an impact it was, maybe, hey, let's do a test and kind of back off some and see if it's worked in the long term.
Right.
And I don't know if that's kind of what's impacting me, but I feel like I'm kind of declining. I'm dealing with more brain fog, energy. I'm waking up feeling kind of gross and
That's why you have to listen to this podcast because it
cool.
explains a lot of that stuff too.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing some of these protocols just because it makes sense. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything. I was talking to another gentleman. There was a health meeting to even join tonight, but it was a bit interesting because some of that was like structured where it's is it what's it Amway? You know Amway? Is that
Amway. It sounds familiar, but I don't
yeah?
know.
It's like a whole pyramid type of what do you call marketing, network marketing kind of thing?
Mm,
I don't
mm.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but we're talking. So yeah, I think it's a network marketing kind of thing, and just red flags kind of go up. It's like, okay, well, is it a legit product that couldn't, that they're trying to skip middlemen from getting their fingers in that piece of the pie, or is it something that is just getting pushed that hasn't been fully legitimized to make shelves or
Mm-hmm.
something? I don't know. I have yet to go, but it's another health product that folks are, I guess, taking. And I mean, everyone's seeking essentially the magic pill, right? Or something that's going to improve their quality of life. That's where it's just important we start checking all these things out. Like this episode, I'm excited to check out and look into that protocol that worked for these individuals because just don't know. Sometimes it's very situational. What's going to work for you?
So this cat actually was got this protocol. I guess that's what I want to call it. Like he got Dana White to do it.
Oh, no kidding.
And so that's the reason why he was on Joe Rogan because he helped Dana White make a huge dramatic change,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I need to have this guy on my show, and that's why he did. And so he explained everything and how his a lot of stuff about allergies and hereditary uh not disabilities, but stuff that's hereditary
Hmm.
isn't really exactly that. Anyways, I'm going to butcher it. So, but the thing is, it be very informative in my opinion. So
Okay.
we'll have to watch it. I want to watch it again. You'll have to watch it, and then we can come back on it and actually go and say, hey, actually have that topic.
It could be even something that, hey, after listening, I could be notating. I already want to listen and notate
Oh, trust
on
me,
there.
I was going to do that
Okay.
for sure. That's the
Well,
reason why I got to
not
watch it a
even for a
couple times.
talking point, but to take that information to some of my trusted doctors and see what their thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
But also, cool. Let's kick this into gear and see. So even before potentially even talking about it, let's put it to the test, right? And it's kind of the conversation I was left with talking to this other gentleman, where it was like, look, more, yeah, I'm excited to sit in on these meetings and find out what has helped supposedly so many folks and do my due diligence on, like, as best as I can understand how it's positively impacting the body and the mind and the cellular makeup, but putting it to the test as well and having a testimonial, right? Because any of these products could potentially lead to business opportunities and things along those lines too. With platforms like this and networking, and I mean, we're all about improving lives. So hey, there could be mutual gains and benefits to be had, which is cool. We need it, man. Holy smoke! Oh, go ahead.
So,
Yeah,
okay, so did you ever finish the movie American Made?
yeah.
All right, so what was your opinion on it?
All right, so that's the one with Tom Cruise,
Right.
and I'm just trying to go through. See, this is where it is becoming really apparent to me, because you just recently were like, dude, if you haven't checked that out, check it out. So the real impact, like this brain fog kicking back in in fact having, because it was just the other week I watched that. Well, let's see. So he did. It was about a pilot.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, the CIA ended up having him run these questionable missions, almost like off the books. So all this, have you done your research? All that was pretty well. It wasn't too Hollywooded. Like, it followed
From what? No.
history pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's accurate, but it follows a very close. So at the very end of the movie, if you remember, he was actually recording a lot of
Right.
his days and stuff, and like his what happened. He was just going ahead
Right.
and videotape. For anybody that doesn't know what a videotape is, it's this little device cassette that actually used to fit this one old contraption called a VCR that actually went and played movies.
Old school recording
Right.
device. Not even that old for
Well,
us,
the
but
camera was like that big,
man,
and now you got phones and everything
it's
else,
all digitalized.
right?
Yeah. But it actually had a cassette. Yeah.
But I want to say it would be. I mean, I'm not even gonna say it's close, but wouldn't be surprised it's not believable. I mean, I
Right.
looked up his actual death, and it did say that he was assassinated.
Oh,
So
wow. So the
so
cartels,
right,
pretty much the drug things, guys like he got involved in. And it was interesting because in the end, the CIA basically were like, yeah, you're a problem. Let's clean house. Let's burn everything up. And you're free to go, sir. Like, so they basically, it was the best way for them to just let the issue handle itself, which was leaving a man high and dry, hanging him out
right.
to get whacked.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, I'm not surprised at
No.
all. Like that's why I don't call this movie far fetched because I'm not
This
surprised
was
at all.
97? I'm trying to remember. I mean, we could pull it
No,
up
this
and
was at
look.
80. I think he died in 84.
Whoa, the film?
Oh, the film was 19 or 2017.
Oh, 17.
Yeah, so it's recent. What, 5 years, 6 years?
17. Okay. I thought something 7. It's close.
Mm,
Not.
by what, 20 years?
I don't know. Something. But it's no secret. Like, okay, so Hollywood's putting out something kind of based on true. There was something to it that they felt, oh yeah, we could capture this. We could get some A-list actor and we'll sell some box office. Okay. But yeah, to me, it was just like, wow, like I already know these three-letter organizations are corrupt as heck. I already know our government is no longer operating by we the people, for the people. It's There's no accountability anymore. So it wasn't any real surprise to me. But yeah, you watch a film like that and it still ends up upsetting, knowing even what we know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were upset afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, how I mean, there is a part of that where it's like how just because you have the CIA on your side and the type of things you were getting involved in, you're still actively engaging in questionable things. You think you're going to come out with that, like come out of that on a like free and clear entirely just because you have our agencies behind you too. So there's part of it. I'm like, what did you expect to the character? But it doesn't excuse the corruption and what was actually taking place.
Wha-
You know.
It's frustrating because all right, so you have that situation, and then you have the JFK situation,
Mm.
and even Robert Kennedy said that his uncle got assassinated by the CIA. So did his dad. Um, why does Vivek Ramaswamy want to go and dismantle the FBI, like 75% of the FBI or the entire FBI, and then 75% of the rest of the government?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's reasons why, because
Mm-hmm.
it's already got too contaminated with just shit, in my opinion, filth.
Right. Right. I guess for anyone, like to look into that story if they don't understand like, oh no, the government's not like that, FBI is not like that, like that could be a start. Bolt is releasing some smells behind me.
No, it's
My little pup.
at least behind you.
Oh, it's gonna come over your way.
Well, you got a fan.
There's
I have that same fan. I love
oh
that
you
fan.
yeah. Well, we'll see if we can dissipate it a bit.
You know, I was telling Sarah that it's funny because we're walking through the store and you don't see DeWalt or Black and Decker anymore. I remember they used to be basically head to head,
Oh yeah.
and DeWalt's actually stepped up their game a lot. They're like competitors with Milwaukee and
Well, the lithium has come a long ways in the brushless motors and things like that. Now, I mean, rigid Milwaukee, Ryobi. I mean, a lot of them are competitive. Like you almost can't go wrong with the rigid warranties now.
what a lifetime warranty or what?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to register the tools when you
Right.
purchase them, but like,
Rigid lifetime?
yeah, no questions asked too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
For drills? Like,
All their power tools.
huh?
So
Damn.
so if I were to do it all over as a contractor, I mean, many years ago, DeWalt essentially originally was ahead of the game regarding unbreakable slash power tools, cordless tools.
I wasn't a big fan of DeWalt. Like I said, a lot of their stuff I personally felt that was cheap. They did step up their games. I did have some drills that lasted me like 7 years. Right
I think
now,
that really was their like 20-volt selection.
yes,
Once they went to those slider batteries
right,
versus those inserts,
exactly.
that's where they were leaps and bounds
Yep,
ahead of
yep.
every tool out there. And I never why do you even need a warranty with a product that doesn't break? Right? Like
D-
that was such a rarity, and I used everything under the sun.
I have Craftsman, which they feel kind of like cheap.
I want. They used to be a reputable, I think, American-made brand, and it
Mhm.
ended up sourcing. I must have been a shift in ownership and
There was. I
to
can't remember who
China
bought
or
them out.
something.
Someone bought them because Lowe's now carries them, and I have some of that. I have Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee a lot.
Yeah.
And then my other ones are what? Craftsman, Milwaukee, Makita. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I got a bunch of drills.
Yeah. I got so invested in DeWalt. That's just it wouldn't be illogical for me to transition.
You're right. You can use those batteries and everything all together. I
Right.
mean, they you have to have one set.
No. But yeah, if you were new to the game, man, rigids because I have some relatives and whatnot that bought the full kits in like around the holidays even. You could get Oh, a big group pack of a good starter kit, right? To becoming a contractor for pennies on the dollar compared to what it would take to get a few tools in the DeWalt line.
Right.
So, I definitely don't think folk could really go wrong, especially with that like lifetime warranty, because I believe that's still 20 volt as well, or 18, or I can't recall.
Are we talking about
The
just the rigid?
rigids,
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't played with the rigid. I don't have any
I think
rigids.
they have a 24 volt line. It's been a while for me since I've been out there swinging the hammer. It seems with this whole Lime journey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be able to conquer that.
yeah. I mean, we all got our challenges. I'm not here to whine. It's just I so badly want my function so I can help mend this broken world. And I wasn't doing this death scroll, but to an extent I was. I was just getting alerts on a lot of things, and holy moly, with some of these, I don't even know if you've seen some of this content. It's pretty fresh. Uh-oh, I think it refreshed, so now it's going to be hard to find. But a Jan 6 video, because I guess more of those tapes have been getting released. Oh, because I'm over here. And this little clip right here of this old lady getting pushed down the steps, like they literally were provoking on Jan 6. Like, it's no secret. I can't believe people have drank the Kool-Aid enough to think Jan 6 was an insurrection, and they have a level of amnesia, and they forget the peaceful protests throughout that whole summer, which equated to billions of dollars and hundreds of people dying, for the whole BLM movement. Oops. But I mean, to see that, it's disgusting. Look at this. She was unprovoking, just standing there.
Wait, was that a cop that pushed her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If we go, it just replays. So you could see right there. You saw his helmet. See right there.
Right.
And she's just standing there. And if you watch, she takes her hoodie down, and you could see white hair. She's an older lady. You could see there's nothing. They're peacefully This is our First Amendment right.
So who recorded this?
Well, you could see it's coming from this side of the barrier.
Right.
So this was protected footage, and we're slowly getting more of this released. So there's a reason why they have like 40,000 hours of footage on Jan 6 that they intentionally aren't releasing, and it's getting a slow drip.
Right, but someone's carrying the camera. So is this a body cam or is this a camera from someone else?
It looks to me like it's a body cam of one of these officers in the line here. But it's just wild. Like, you could see this is an escalating, provoking thing to do on amping things up when they're peacefully. They have every right to be there, and do what they're doing. Might as well try to play this. Let's try to. I don't even know. That ain't gonna work. That's terrible.
You're going to need an editor.
Yep. She was just standing there, this older lady, unbelievable, and gets pushed down these steps. Like, let's be real, old people die from things like that. Are you freaking kidding me? That pisses me off. I cannot believe the restraint on the men in that crowd. That was no insurrection. Those were peaceful protesters. Obviously, everywhere's going to have its bad apples, but that was a provoking from the law enforcement side. Of course, you're going to aggravate and irritate to some of them bad actors to step out of line. But I so badly need my function so we can effectively team up, give calls to action, get people to source information in this information age, and unite for betterment. I mean, this right here boils my blood too. And I know this is a discussion. I know you're short on time, and we can go into this on another date. But right here, this was yesterday. Yesterday. Well, so this was posted on the 4th, so this must have been the 3rd. Men took the top 2 podium spots in the women's single speed category at the Illinois State
Wait, are these men or
cyclocross.
trans?
Those are 2 men. Those are 2 men.
Yes, but are they pretending to be uh, the other thing?
No, those are 2 men.
No, I understand that, but are they identifying as trans or what?
Uh, Michael and Evelyn Williamson. But Michael's claiming Tessa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another. Oh, geez, we're gonna break things up in here. But guys, let's stop with the circus. Like, my heart goes out to these folks that have kind of been manipulated into thinking this type of way and getting attention and so many things, and it does feel to me that it's more than a play on psychology and a movement that I do feel this is kind of a
Brainwashing?
well
Conditioning?
more than conditioning and brainwashing, that this is a result to even biowarfare, because it is interesting that throughout the pandemic there were some doctors that were releasing some very unique situations where they had a homosexual individual, whatever, like a man married to a man and very flamboyant, and got sick with the COVID, and this doctor knew actual healthy life-saving protocols and end up putting this man on a heavy dose of ivermectin. And after X amount of time being on ivermectin, he pretty much came around to his natural biological normal self, where he kind of was like, whoa, why am I married to a man? That's just an anti-parasitical.
Off, I can never pronounce it. Fibermet, fibermectin,
Ivermectin.
ivermectin.
Yeah. So
Wait, it can't be the cure-all.
well, so there hasn't been enough information. I'm just stating what a doctor was sharing with, and there was anonymity to an extent. We should even pull up that content. It would be awesome to plug that content. It might have been on an earlier Stu Peters episode. But it was interesting because it wasn't the only source that I came across during the pandemic that was claiming the same outcome,
Right.
with someone that was believing they were something they were not, and ivermectin actually brought them back to normal. And what kind of goes off in my mind, because the reality of it is, like, okay, more research, more study, more information should be done on that to see if it's having that type of impact, like, all around. Because I do believe there's a level to it that is a brainwashing, is a movement, is a condition, is like childhood trauma related and attention based, all sorts of things, right? But I do feel there's a level to it that is on a biological side and biowarfare side that is going to be harder. It's going to take time to figure out. It's just pretty shocking evidence and information and interesting. Am I saying it's a cure all? No. And I don't believe it necessarily is, because I do see the power of indoctrination. Like, there's a JB Sears video that just, he hits out of the park the power of the indoctrination camp in, like, TikTok and social medias, because seemingly, like, overnight the whole Israel, Gaza debacle, and how people that didn't even care yesterday are all of a sudden, boom, pro this, pro that, is like, what? It's just the power. He very clearly identifies and hones in on the power of the indoctrination camp, right? And everything that's how effective it is. So there's obviously a level to that, but it is interesting, like that. Like I was saying, I don't believe any of that to have been made up regarding this doctor and this individual.
I'm not saying it's not true or not. I'm
Yeah,
just you always have to question everything, and so it's
right.
yeah.
Well, what's interesting about it though, and which I find worth going down, because the thing is, like, it's no secret what parasites. I mean, you keep bringing up Joe Rogan. He goes in depth, like he's pretty well educated about. It was a recent episode I just happened to come across where he did go into parasites and how they directly impact, like, say, crickets. How they'll literally go in and impact the neurological function of this cricket to go suicide itself and drown itself in like a puddle, where now the parasite can it's a way for it to evolve its reproductive 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 cycle, right? It needs to be in that like in that saturated water environment. So it's interesting on. And then there were other ones too that he used. So parasites are extremely dangerous, like life threatening, certain parasites to even humans and other animals, but also the impacts it can have neurologically, hormonally, all sorts of things. So who's to say that a parasite hasn't been manipulated potentially to even have this type of impact, right? It's
Right.
worth questioning, it's worth looking into, it's worth scientifically doing the research on to ensure, like, so I personally, being with the experience and I've dealt with regarding Lyme disease, being old school biowarfare dating way back, um I don't put it past, with how quickly things are evolving now, for that to be something, oh yeah, totally achievable. I don't think that's far out at all. I think it's far out personally to think, oh no, we can't have that level of bio warfare attacks to impact people's hormones and like biological confusion.
So I got a few minutes. All right.
Okay.
So here's food for thought. So I think they established cancer foundations and donations they started ever since the 1940s, right? They make over $1 billion or multi-billion dollars every year of donations and everything else, and since the 1940s, right? So last what 40? I'm horrible with math. 40 what 80 years? How is there no cure? And we have so much funding, unlimited funding in this, right? So why is there no cure?
For what specifically?
Cancer.
Mm. Well, that's actually been suppressed. There's
It's a money making
yes,
deal.
there
It's
have been cures. There's been labeled cures for decades
right,
now.
but at the same time, you're not gonna make money when you cure someone. You
Pfizer
rather keep
buys
them in
out those
check,
patents and shelves them.
or someone dies.
It's no secret. It's no secret.
That's why it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like you have to have hope, but you can't do it here. You gotta get out of here and go somewhere else that actually has the lowest amount of cancer rate. So U.S. has a high rate of it. If you go
Well,
somewhere else, why is it not?
this is ground zero, man. If we fully lose it here, there's nowhere you're going to be able to hide. So ultimately is like, I get how people, I what's most important is for people to actually tune into what you know, what I know, what other people know, and we don't even know it all, right? And
Yeah,
we never will. But to support open conversation, free speech, open dialogue, do the research, and through unity, we can all collectively ensure that better tomorrow. Is it ever going to be perfect here in this earth? No.
you can't fight while you're sick.
That, that's what, yeah, that's the biggest struggle I've had even with Lyme. To get back to Lyme and bring awareness to that, I'm like, man, these poor folk.
And let me rephrase that.
Right.
I'm not gonna go and say you can't fight while you're sick. You can't fight to your full potential while you're sick.
You're right. We need more people that are healthy getting on board with these battles. And that's really tough because when you're healthy, you end up focusing on just all these other things. So how do we flip that switch within individuals to care enough? Like and it goes to Lyme and all these topics. We've been very self-serving. It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know what to say on that. I think we've been very well. Self-serving is a polite way to say it. We've been very selfish, very
Yes.
spoiled. So
Yes.
I'd rather use those words to hold
I
myself
like that.
accountable. So
I like that. Well, guys, help us, please. Help us. Come on here. Talk with me and Jesus. There's a third chair. We could do the deep dives. We could bring receipts. What's that?
no, I'm gonna take off. But you're
Yeah.
right, and we need to go and get someone else over here and
Damn.
even have a nice civil or violent debate. I always enjoy either one. So
Yeah. It's, gosh darn, folk. It's only our future, right? It's, I say it's important too much. Like, we must take action. We must unite. We must figure out the solutions to these issues. And we must start doing a level of accountability. Otherwise, we're going to forever be in a dog chase its tail. Like I've said with Lyme disease, it's like if we only treat the symptoms, we're forever a dog chasing its tail. But if we start looking into how this came about, hold the people accountable, and stop biowarfare from happening by exposing it with awareness, then we're kind of limiting them playing that hand. So, yeah.
I don't know.
It's more of this, brother. It's just more of this. I know it seemed very disorganized, but we're just hanging out. We're chatting. I hope you guys enjoy these type of conversations. We didn't necessarily move the needle that far on pretty much anything, but it's, I hope it's just firing up some excitement in individuals to go down some of these roads.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a list. I want a list of like your favorite movies because we're gonna go and rate those like 1 to 10 and see how good those movies are. Doesn't have.
Movies?
Yeah, dude. Are you a movie fan or no?
I mean, I do
Anything
and
that's
did. I more so
nostalgic.
did enjoy them more so. It's kind of a luxury I feel we really can't afford in today's climate. I mean,
No, I'm talking about like anything. Doesn't matter. Like a movie, a book. Go ahead and put it down. Freaking something that you grew up with. Like again, nostalgic.
well, I don't even know where to begin with that because our industries in Hollywood has been infiltrated for a very long time and has been a huge problem, a part of the problem with the indoctrination and brainwashing.
So you're telling me that you were never a fan of the Rocky movies or Rambo or Commando?
No, that's pretty cool, entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a time where you gotta.
and motivational to an extent,
There
right?
you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, and see, here's the thing. Hollywood's taken over a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it took over at a certain point.
Mm.
Um, all those movies had goals, had heroes, had motivational, like, hey, I want to be that. Now it's a different story, but it stopped at a
I'm
certain
all
time.
about supporting the alternate like communities now, and I love what Angel Studios is doing with The Chosen. I love what Angel Studio, I believe there was a level of involvement with Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel on The Sound of Freedom, right? And it's films more so like that, that if you haven't seen, listener, my gosh, support those men and what they did. They literally put their lives on the line by, you know, sharing a true story and real information and exposing true evil. Any any platform that had negative things to say about that film should show its true colors, because in that very film they bring the very receipts regarding that story being true. They followed factual, like almost just to the T, all the key points as to what took place, and that's happening. Like, it's films like that. My gosh,
Right.
dude, that's where I want to support anything from freaking Hollywood. Man, it's just no good. They're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to demonize men and culture, just everything. Like, freaking get off Disney, folks. I'm so pissed. Ugh.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, okay. That's a wrap. Thank you for joining. Thanks for listening. There's just a bunch of. It spells it out. Help us, guys. Help us save the world. I mean it. Bless you. God bless you. And look forward to next time. Well, I'm back. Jesus took off, but I really cherish that friendship. Jesus, thank you, my man. You rock. I appreciate kind of to sum it up, how he was like, James, you need to stop and smell the roses. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy what you can do. You're only one man. You can't shoulder everything. That's why he even brought up, like, he saw that I was getting a little worked up, and that's why he even questioned me, what are some of your favorite movies? Because he was trying, like, a pretty smart tactic there to have a positive impact. I appreciate you, Jesus. I want to take a moment and appreciate all you listeners. Thank you for your support. And then I want to take a moment to appreciate all my guests so far that have joined us on this journey here on UNMUZZLED Chat. Thank you for your time, for your shares, your stories. Man, I'm really excited for the future to see where we go. Jesus, thanks so much for the gifts. It's not necessary, but thank you. These are really cool. Really cool. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Bless you guys. It is important that we take the moments to just enjoy this life. But we can challenge ourselves to enjoy it and make a difference and be intentional and positive and loving. Thanks again. Can't wait. We got a very special guest tomorrow. If all goes through, stay tuned. Take care.